gridirons around Mishawaka, this is 16 Sports Extra, brought to you by Monteith's Best One Tire and Auto Care.
Welcome into 16 Sports Extra, the place to be on a Friday night. I'm Jackson Neal. That's Sabrina Hoover. And Sabrina, believe it or not, but we're getting late into the regular season.
I know, it's so weird. That's right, Jackson. It's time to start thinking about conference title races. And tonight, Elkhart hosted Penn, with the Lions needing a win to stay alive in the NIC. Beautiful night for some Indiana football. This one pretty close early, 7-6. Penn only led by a point up to this point. But the Kingsmen want to add some cushion to the scoreboard. Blake Ewald finds the end zone, and he's pretty pumped up about it. That now gives Penn a 14-7 lead. And right before half, the Kingsmen able to put 3 points on the board. And how about that? What a kick right there. The whole team is celebrating that one. Now here in the third, this time it's Colton Hernandez, and he is into the end zone for 6. So Kingsmen finding quite a bit of momentum right now. But of course, Elkhart is not done quite yet. Alfonso Newborn on the carry. Yeah, there's no point in stopping that man. He fights off that last tackle and gives some life to this Elkhart offense. However, Penn blocks the extra point, so it's 27-12 Kingsmen. And after that big run, Penn wants to do the same. Brayson Hurley coming right at you. My camera had to move out of the way here, but he eventually takes this one all the way. Penn still undefeated. Huge 37-12 win over the Lions on the road.
Great team we played, tremendous amount of speed on both sides of the ball. The quarterback does an outstanding job, so really proud about how our defense played. Unfortunately, we gave up a couple big plays, but our offense picked us up, so that's huge. It's great to have complementary football. We've been able to mix things up, and so their knowledge, we have a veteran group, so our ability to mix things up in terms of different pressures and make some changes on the fly really has been key for us.
So a huge win right there. Let's stick with the Northern Indiana Conference to another team at the top of the standings.
Yeah, that's where we find South Bend St. Joseph, who's undefeated this season as well and look to stay that way as they hosted South Bend Riley. All right, Huskies undefeated this late into the season for the first time since 1995.
How about
Second quarter of action in the St. Joseph defense. They're stepping up right there. Riley trying to get the passing game going, but in the backfield, Jackson Troster bringing the QB down for a sack. And they keep coming up big because 2 plays later, the Wildcats trying to set up a screen, but tip drill in the air. It's Alfred Fultz coming down with it. Interception for this Huskies defense. Right before half, and St. Joseph is trying to add to their 2-score lead. Throw outside, but wait. Riley, they get their own interception. Nicholas Washington picked up a couple blockers as well, able to get down the sideline. So with a minute left until halftime, the Wildcats have a chance to score, but well, just like all season long, this St. Joe defense had all the answers. Huskies, they stay undefeated 21-6, so a big, tough win right there. Now let's go from the NIC to the Northern Lakes Conference, where Plymouth entered tonight in a 3-way tie for second place.
Yes, and they had a tough matchup as they traveled to NorthWood, who's just 1 game behind them in the standings. Again, such a beautiful night here under the lights. NorthWood looking to get something going. One guy looking to do that, Jaron Allen. He's into the end zone for 6. What a catch right there. Panthers finding some rhythm. In NorthWood, back on offense. This time it's Ethan Miller. Finds an opening, gets a huge gain. What a run right there by the junior. But Panthers sure put on a show offensively. Austin King up the middle. He's in for 6. Look at this final score. 41-14. Northwood gets a huge, much-needed win to get back in the win column.
That's a huge score right there. All right, more NLC action. First place, Mishawaka hosting tied for second, Warsaw. First drive, Landon Snyder's keeping it, and I'm going to say, I've never seen this in a high school game. Looking like Jeremiah Love with this hurdle. Unfortunately, though, it was called back due to a penalty, that doesn't matter. Because later in the drive, Snyder, he keeps it again, gets outside, gets all the way inside the 10-yard line before he's pushed out. So that sets up the Cavemen. And then they're going to finish off the drive, and I mean, you can guess who it is. Snyder keeping it himself. It's only right. Mishawaka up 7 early. Second quarter now in Warsaw. Well, they have their response on third down, fighting through the tacklers. Brody Duncan, the senior fullback. Love that position. He scores. In the end, though, the Cavemen, they win 42-21, so big score right there for Mishawaka. That's going to do it for the first half of 16 Sports Extra, but don't worry, we're not done quite yet.
Exactly. Coming up on the other side, more highlights, all the local scores you need to know, and a recap of Notre Dame's Irish Jam. But first, here's your lottery numbers. Good luck.